This is my favorite trick for planning a novel. Instead of starting by brainstorming the beginning of your story, start with the end and work backward. This is how to do it. Imagine where your main character will be at the end of your story and write it down. Then write down the exact opposite situation. That's where they should be at the start. So, for example, I might write that at the end of the book, my character is open to love and finally following their career dreams. Which means that at the beginning, they should be convinced they're better off alone and working an unfulfilling job. The plot of the book is going to be what makes them change. I hope this helps. Be sure to follow for more writing advice.
Don't start your story like this. Number 1, a dream sequence? Are you kidding me? You're trying to put your character to sleep, but instead you're putting us to sleep. Stop it. Especially if the dream has nothing to do with the main plot of your story. Number 2 is the first day of school. There's nothing wrong with the new girl trope or whatever, but it's so overdone. If you're gonna do the new girl trope, make it different in some way. And number 3, which I think is the absolute worst thing you could ever do, is to start way before your inciting incident, because the inciting incident to me is when the story really gets started. But if we're starting way before that point, your character, like let's say the big inciting incident is that, oh my god, they get in a car accident, but we start all the way back to their early childhood with all this backstory, it slows down the pacing of your story and it makes your readers not have any sort of connection with your character. Got a little heated in this one, but tell me if I missed anything.
This is my process of turning the book I wrote into an actual printed novel. After I finish writing and editing my first draft of my novel, the first thing I do is create a copy of my novel. This is the copy where I do all of my formatting for my actual copy of the book, and I leave my manuscript copy completely alone. Once you have your new copy, the first thing to do is to go into page setup and change the page size to A5, and I like to change my margins right here. The next thing I do is go up here to format, and I add page numbers and headers and footers. Then begins the fun part of editing and formatting the book to make it look the way you want, like changing the fonts and the sizes. Really, it's all about making your book uniquely your own, to your own liking. As you see here with this book, I kind of went with a pirate feel to my fonts and my orientation. And the last thing you should do is just glance over every single page to make sure there's no blank pages or any formatting errors. Once you're completely done, I upload this file into Amazon KDP. Amazon KDP is then where I print my proof copies.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism.
You tell me, do you enjoy hurting people? I don't believe Do you enjoy killing? I'll kill you. What, like you did your mother? Take her name out of your mouth.
Seems like everybody loved my first 2 videos on how to write dialogue, so here's a third tip. This is the most foundational technique that you can use in dialogue writing. And if you master this, you'll master like 70% of dialogue writing. You need to learn how to write the retort. Character says something, and another character says something smart or funny or insulty back. In John Green's The Fault in Our Stars, Hazel's looking at these beautiful trees in Amsterdam and says, "People always get used to beauty." Gus replies, "I haven't gotten used to you just yet." Ooh.
I'd like to check in, please.
Oh my God, where did you come from?
I said hello twice.
Well, hello then.
Ways to say your character ate. They munched. They nibbled. They helped themselves to. They chewed thoughtfully. They picked at. They devoured ravenously. They wolfed down. They swallowed whole. They ingested and then hopefully digested.
So
There are some people who think that the hardest part about being an author is writing the book. And those people would be so fucking mistaken. Because the hardest part about being an author is editing your book. Because when you're in the flow of writing, you're like, yes, this is fire on writing. This is the best book that has ever been written. Oh, I'm gonna win so many awards. Oh, I fucking slayed this plot. It's amazing. It's amazing. Fire is coming out of my hands. And then you go back and read that same book after you're done, and you're like, oh my God, I've gotta fix so much shit. Then you get beta readers who give you feedback and you realize for a second time, oh, I've got to fix so much shit. Now, don't get me wrong, I love writing, but this editing is kicking my ass.
When saying goodbye to a main character for good, especially one that's been around for a long time, you'll need to write the scene in a way where the reader has no doubt in their mind that this is for real. And I'm not saying you need to spray them for a full minute, but instead you should make sure that their arc is complete and that their goodbye means something.
I got my manuscript printed and bound through Staples. Super easy process. You just upload your PDF. You get to pick what color you want the back plastic cover to be. For reference, my book at the time was about 80,000 words, and I think this cost about $40 to $50. I generally print my manuscript like this for my first edit. I have another suggestion though. For beta readers, I went through a company called Blurb. I made my own cover and uploaded it, and then I printed I think 10 of these, and they were only $2 or $3 a piece, so much more affordable than printing multiple from Staples. This is not as easy as just uploading a PDF though. There is a little bit more formatting involved, but I definitely recommend doing this for beta readers or sometimes I like to print different versions for keepsakes. Hope that helps.